In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to manifest. Like the title of the video says, everything in this world is subjective. Nothing is objective, okay? You know how like manifestation is a state of being. It's not a state of doing something. So, whatever you believe will manifest into your reality. Now I'm going to give you an example of why everything in this world is subjective and nothing is objective. For example, when you look at a painting, to one person it might be the most beautiful thing in the world. And then to another person it might be the ugliest thing in the world. There have been so many discussions in my own classes when my art professor hated certain paintings, but the rest of the class loved it. It proves that, things like art is subjective. And people might say, yes, things like art is subjective, not everything else in the world. Beauty, art, literature, I understand that they are all subjective. But what about things like politics or facts or science? Are they also subjective? The truth is, it is also subjective. The biggest lie that the whole world is believing or is perpetrating or everyone thinks, is that certain things in this world are objective and nothing can change it. And because they believe it, that belief in itself is a subjective thing. So when you believe something is a fact, you believe it and it becomes a subjective thing. Even when you call something objective, it's still very much subjective to you. So how can we use this information to help us manifest things in our lives? Look at yourself. Look at your reality right now. It must have been shaped by your actions. It must have been shaped by your past. And it must have been mostly shaped by your environment. We grow up, especially this generation, is what I think, because we are surrounded by social media. We're surrounded by too many voices around us. So, especially in this generation, we grow up hearing so many voices around us telling us who to be, telling us what we are at all times. Even our environment is not the only thing that's shaping us. The internet shapes us, right? It's not a very isolated environment. We are surrounded and we are being influenced by so many things, okay? Even fashion and trends, they change so fast nowadays compared to before. So we have an influx of information. We have an influx of subjective opinions from the outside shaping our lives that we don't have any time to shape our own subjective beliefs. What ends up happening is we grow up believing what other people are saying. We adopt other people's subjective beliefs. We adopt the internet's beliefs. Okay, we adopt the latest trend as our own belief. For example, cancel culture. That very little time is taken by people to actually sit and think if that is what they believe in. You're just going with the flow. So, most of your negative things and most of the positive things in your life are all based on these beliefs. For example, somebody might become a singer just because they were surrounded by people praising them and telling them that they liked their singing. At the same time, another person wouldn't become a singer because they're surrounded by people telling them they don't like that person singing. Sometimes your belief is stronger than what others are seeing, and you still continue to become a singer. So at the end of the day, the power lies in you. What you believe shapes your reality. But it is also necessary for you to recognize that the way your life is shaped and the way it's leading into the future might not all be your beliefs. It might be the beliefs of the people surrounding you. So, how can this concept help you manifest things in your life? If you go through all of the subliminal videos online, you go through all of the things people actually want for manifesting, it's usually like simple things like, beauty or money, or sometimes like material goals. They want to achieve material goals. Sometimes they want to get good marks in their school exams. So how you actually manifest those things is that you don't believe that you're going to get it or something like that. You might have heard this and it's so cliche, but you might have been using this wrong. Is that you believe that manifestation has already happened. Okay? In your head, your subjective belief, not objective, your subjective belief is that losing 20 kgs would make you thin. Okay? But you cannot really define the word thin. Okay? You need to start looking at yourself as thin already without having lost in that 20 kgs. Trust me, guys, this will work. Similarly, there might have been no proof of your exam marks going high. But you need to start believing that you already have high marks, okay? Taking this example, you have now created a subjective reality where you believe you have high marks. You get high marks. To you, even that 1 mark you got in your previous exams means high marks. So the future of your reality will become the subjective reality you enforced on yourself, where you will become thin, you will get high marks. Now I want to talk about another example where a person, no matter how thin they get, they still don't consider themselves thin. And you might see them struggling their best to lose even more weight. And they're never happy. And sometimes they gain even more weight. Okay, this is kind of a triggering topic. So let me talk about marks in this case. There might be people who score very, very high marks, but they're never proud of themselves. They're never happy with it, and they always feel dissatisfied. Those are the people that have a subjective reality that they have always scored less marks. Okay? Now, do you understand why everything is subjective? Because objectively people might call it high, but reality is that it is subjective. The second that person might start thinking that what they did score is high is when they'll actually score even higher. I hope you all can apply this type of method in your life. See your reality as it is, the way you want it to be. Accept that's something you're already living as. Even if you have just $1, you need to think you are rich, okay? Because it's subjective, okay? And that's why I think gratitude is important, because it makes you not only appreciate the things you have, it makes you create a reality that is far more, subjectively good than being subjectively bad. So take your time to figure out where in your life you have these subjective beliefs that are being shaped by external factors and change them so that you can live a more, higher vibrational life. Bye. Thank you.